Okay, so here we go. You all wanted to see this one gotten into. It is Saturday. My time, I've done my chores for the day. I've been assured that I'm no longer needed for anything today. So that means I am gonna look at this. We're gonna look at it and see what we see. So again, Seiko Time Corp, nothing special there. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna preserve this. I don't know. We'll see about that. Let's get some light in here, see what the heck I'm doing. Yep, that's crazy. I'm going to be very curious to see what in the fact is the cause behind the piece not running. Case back seal. Okay. Of course, we don't have a full complete stem in there, but I can pull that out. So there it is, all of its glory. Okay, so I'm going to leave the case for another time. I want to get those hands off of there, and I really want to see what the date on the dial is, because as we know, this is a Suwa. Well, it's Suwa parts, but it was assembled in Hong Kong. So well, time setting works. That's something. Okay. That's where I like to use this piece, because it, even though this is for chronographs, it works very nicely to settle things down. Okay, and now, there we go. Sorry for the wiggling. We have sweep seconds. Oops, I got them both. Oh well, that happens sometimes. Loom looks, I mean, pretty decent. I'll have to have a look at trying to get that cleaned up, because obviously I'm going to keep the original hands in the original loom. There's the dial. See the beautiful, beautiful printing on it. That beautifully, I can't believe that this dial has such lovely early style loom on it. Okay, well, I'm just gonna indulge myself and let's get this dial off. I want to see what we've got under there. Come on, would you stop fighting me? 1, 2. Now, if it follows standard convention, the dial should be the month before the caseback date, so that would be November 1980. But I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get. Wow. Really? February 1977. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. That's why it's got that really, that's why it's got that 77 loom. Look at that. It's one of the earliest styles I've seen from a 6309. I mean, I've seen this date before. I've seen a month earlier too, but not often. Why in the world then? So they sent this old stock dial down to Hong Kong to assemble into a watch? That seems bananas to me. Huh. Well, there you go. That's the mystery. So as I dig into it, I'm going to see about what in the world is the actual problem here and go from there. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. Well, I am still reeling from 77. That's just weird. There's no chance I'll ever be able to find out what was going on with that, but I don't know. All I can do is judge by the condition of the watch and the other things that we found. And I could look closely at the case and see if it has any of the hallmarks of an early case, but I don't know. I have to readjust this camera. Okay, I'm trying a new setup is the thing, so I can try to work while you all are here listening to me. That gets off here. That's off. That's off. Now, I couldn't get any ticks at all out of this thing, so I'll be curious to see what the issue is. That goes there. This goes here. So we pull all this stuff. I mean, based on the case and everything else like this watch is new, but I mean, look, there's no marking under this on the train bridge at all. Oh, let me get the pallet fork out of there. Come on. Oh, would you knock it off? Pretty well firm down on that one. Okay. Get that out of there. I'm being kind of silly today. Boop. Okay, and our pallet fork is out of there. Both opinions are good on the pallet fork, so that's good news.
What's a pallet fork?
A pallet fork? A pallet fork is this thing. Look, it's sort of a triangular shaped diddly right here, and it has this end that interacts with the balance going back and forth. This is the thing that goes tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Oh, okay.
And so then you've got these two stones on here, which are like little teeth, and they interact with the escape wheel right there, and they go back and forth. Oh. But if you got a issue with pallet forks, then you got an issue with your movement.
Oh no, so sad.
Yeah, I know, very sad. Yeah, this bridge looks brand new. Yeah, it looks brand new. Dry as a bone, but brand new. Wow. Crazy. This is one of the situations where the 6309, where they simplified and cleaned up some stuff from the earlier 6106s and 6105s. Instead of having this click lever, spring and click screwed down, it just drops into a hole in the movement. Far less, all you do is just stamp this out. Much less manufacturing and lower parts cost for sure. Come on, would you come out of there? Well, I'm kind of at a loss. That doesn't look bad. Everything's a little hazy. Okay, let's look at the escape wheel. A lot of times when a Seiko is dead, it's because the escape wheel has broken pivot. No, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. Something is stopping it from moving. I don't know. Let's keep rolling. Well, so far I don't have a single clue. No broken mainsprings. Now, I wonder what that is. What's this circle of haze? It looks like they're some kind of mash of old dried lubricant or something. Well, there's this. I can't imagine this would have stopped it. A little black flake? What is it? I mean, I guess if it was jammed up in the gears, it might have. That seems crazy to me. Oh, and the top turns too. There are no loose screws. I have no idea why this thing wasn't running. Let's pop over the mainspring barrel. Let's see what we find. Big scratch on the mainspring barrel. Let's see what we see in here. It's dirty. You know, typical S2 lubricant there. That doesn't look funky. Mainspring might be broken. I don't know. Mainspring might be broken. We got this funkiness over here. So I'm going to pull the mainspring. It might not be. I don't know. Could just be funkadelic. No, that looks okay. It's dirty, but... Whoops. I got to untangle this. That's not normally the way we want to do that, but, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to have to take it apart and clean it anyway. Let's see. Out it comes. I don't know. I don't know about this mainspring. I will have to look at it. Come on, would you stop fighting with me? Okay, let's get this going. Well, it looks a little warped. That's not a nice even thing. I'll clean it up and see how that goes. Well, I don't know what I was seeing, but there's nothing in there to indicate it. It's not broken, it's just real dirty. So I'm going to clean that up. And I guess I'll flip it over. Okay, I'm going to give it a... Okay, so I have it all ripped apart. I didn't find any smoking guns. I have no idea why I wouldn't run. None. The only thing I saw was that a lot of the screws, like most of the screws, either were not fully tightened and some were just a little loose. So it could be that just things jumped out of alignment. I didn't see any damage to any of the teeth. There's no damage to the jewels. My lower mainspring arbor port is not worn. I don't know what this weird stain thing is, but I don't know. Even though this lower mainspring arbor port is not worn, I'm going to go ahead and preemptively jewel this because then it's done and I don't have to worry about it. So let me do that. Okay, and there we go. All jeweled. Pretty neat installation, if I do say so myself. Everything's got to go through the cleaner now, but that jewel is in there as it ought to be. So that's a permanent fix, and that's done. Okay, so now I'm gonna get it all into the... I'm just pulling the case apart because even though it's basically NOS, it's, you know, we should clean it anyway. It is really amazing. It truly is basically NOS. Trying to think if we can get this to the point that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the area that the rotating ring sits on and turns. So this tends to get sanded sort of flat. I don't know that you can really see it here, but the surface has like circular grooves all the way around it from the original machining. You can still see them like grooves in a record. I don't believe I've ever seen that before. I don't believe I've ever seen that before, because normally they get worn away. I don't think this case ever got used. Huh, that's amazing. Okay, well, that's pretty funky. And here's the underneath of there's the rotating ring. Just like it's just brand new. Everything looks like it's absolutely brand new, inside and out. So I'm still mystified about how a completely new built watch with a case back dated 1980 would have a 1977 dial. I don't know. It's interesting. That is probably going to remain a mystery. I just noticed something. Normally, the rotating ring gaskets on these are just rock hard plastic, and they just break. Look at that. It's still rubber. This feels new. How is that possible? So it's like oxygen never got to it? That feels new. God, that's amazing. That is just weird. And you'll remember the caseback gasket was new too. Not a mark on it, really. I mean, there's storage wear, but that's about it. That is wacky. Well, I'll pull all the rest of that stuff. So the next fun thing is going to be building up a stem, and you know, I figure that new old stock is probably nice. Get it as close as we can to the real deal. So there's your stem spring. There's your stem rest washer. There is your male post, crown post. And here, look at that. That's exciting stuff. There you go. So we'll make that up, all brand new. And here we are out of the cleaner. Nice and clean. Now it's time to start assembling. Here is, while I was waiting, there is the stem. That's the original split stem on the inside there. And all the other pieces are the new old stock, genuine Seiko, including the seal. So, time to start moving ahead. So, as far as I can tell inside the movement was brand new. The only thing I found is that scratch. This is the lower cover of the mainspring barrel. If you see, hang on. See that scratch right there? And something burnished in a circle as this was turning. Something was underneath this, and then, I don't know. So maybe something broke off and I haven't seen it. So I'm gonna have to look at all the gears very carefully. Something got caught under there and was dragged around and then scratched. Well, I don't know what it was. This is the top now. Did I build this thing upside down? No, I didn't. You can see there's more scratches here. A couple little scratches right there. But right there, you've got damage to that tooth. It's not deadly, but something was smashed in there. I didn't find whatever that was, but that's the first indication I've had of some kind of problem. That little smashed up tooth there. I'm gonna fix it. Well, I have the train together. Again, looking for anything. I found a few other little marks, something, but nothing was broken. Nothing was missing. And the movement, the train, is light and clean. Light and clean. Just smooth output. So I'm going to keep going ahead. Maybe some other piece of debris got in there and I just didn't notice it, or it got out earlier, but I don't know because it just wouldn't run. So maybe it was small enough, I just missed it. Okay, well, I've got that together. Let's drop the balance on. And we'll see. I'm really mystified about this watch. Maybe it was a service case. I mean, they did sell them back in the day. Hang on just one second. Stop it. Well, it runs.
Daddy, look, I got dirty underwear.
Oh, good.
Here.
Wait, I don't need it. You need to give that to Mommy. Okay, it's running. I'm going to check the numbers. It's Saturday. I'm going to let this run in overnight and see what it's doing tomorrow. Well, it looks like it's okay now. Gosh, I wish I knew what was stopping. Check the numbers for fun. We got a lot of beat error. I don't know why it has so much beat error, but it's got a ton. The output is still good, but I'm going to adjust out that beat error here and see what happens. Okay, so I got all that stuff out, and we are starting to run in. So it's Saturday late afternoon. I'm going to give it a rest, and we'll see what the numbers look like tomorrow. Because I always like to just let it run and think and figure out what's going on. But so far it's running. Let's just see how it shakes out. Okay, so things have been kind of funky. Because I took that movement apart and I serviced it. There it is. And I realized that this is a service case. The movement and the dial that was in this watch had wear. It showed wear somewhere and evidence of prior servicing. And of course, the dial is from 1977, February 77. This is not from 1977. And it didn't have a stem. The guy who had this thing was a watchmaker. He was a watch repair guy. There used to be, well, let me put it this way. This is a service case. There is an actual part number where one could, in the old days, order a complete service case. There's a line item for it if on the old Burrell database, the old parts database, there's an actual part number for it. This is new old stock. It has storage wear, but that's it. I mean, this thing is amazing. I can't use it. I can't do anything with it. The guy must have had a customer or somebody who had his original 6309 and he ordered the service case and then it never happened. I don't know. That's the only theory that I've got. But the movement and the dial definitely do not go with this The movement, dial, and hands do not go with this case. Nothing went with this case. I was looking at the movement and I saw some screws had been like, a little banged up a little bit. Nothing serious, but just somebody had been in there. This watch case, I was looking at it, it's never even had spring bars fitted that I can see. Like, literally, it's never had spring bars in it. How is that possible? This case it's brand new. That little black speck that's in the loom, but that's it. Look at the insert. This is a service case. That's what this is. So, seeing as I couldn't do anything with this, and I can't do anything with this, I can't use it, I can't build up a watch with it, all I can do is store it, and I don't want to, I can't do anything with it. So what I did is I went to try to preserve history another way. I took the movement, dial, and hands from 1977, February, and I had an original watch case and everything that belonged to a gentleman I bought this from. This watch is from the same month and year, or the case is February 1977, but his dial and movement and hands were destroyed. So I went, and I had it in my parts. So I went and built myself a workable watch with the movement and dial and hands that were in this watch. They never went to this, and I put them this. So this is now the movement and dial and hands from February 1977, or in a case that is also from February 1977 that was empty. So I put that back the way it should be. This, I can't do anything with it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm not going to keep it. I don't need to keep it. I don't need to sell it. I don't know what it's worth. There's nothing comparable that I am aware of ever. I knew this was a line item. I knew that these existed, these service cases, but I never thought I would see one. It's definitely a service case. It does not, it's not sample stamped, nothing like that. I don't know what to do with it. I have it on the website, but I put a really, 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 really high price on it because I couldn't think of a price, and I didn't know what to sell it at, and I didn't want anybody to move anything on it. I just wanted to get a feeling that I was doing something with it, but it can't stay here. I'm not going to keep it forever. I want it to go to somebody else, but who can, either use it or not use it or whatever. I don't want to be responsible for it because my sort of feelings about preserving history are really strong, and I can't do anything else. It was never, this movement and everything was never a complete watch. Those things never went together. This guy put that other movement and dial and hands in there, but he never completed it. He never built a complete stem. The seller didn't have any of this other stuff that went with it. So this is the best that I can do. So that beautiful dial, hands, and loom are back in a 77 case. And this, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, it's on the website. I don't know that the price I have there is reasonable or not. I don't know. I could make money by breaking it up, but I can't do that either. I can't break it up, and, money's not that important. So, I don't know. I'm hoping somebody buys it and they have a little Seiko museum and they can put it in there. I've never seen one before. I'm sure I'll never see one again. So this is a strange ending for this story, this watch. I don't know. I just want things to live and be okay. I don't want to cause any damage to this. And so the less I handle it, the happier I'll be. I would just assume that it go to someone else's. I just don't know what it's worth. So the heart of the watch, it has a life. Everything's going to be just fine. And this sample case, well, it's been found. Maybe somebody has a use for it. I just don't know what it's worth. I don't know. What a strange life, huh? Well, anyway, that's the end of the strange saga of the Hong Kong case. So last night it's the next morning. Last night I had real trouble sleeping. I was awake for hours and hours in the middle of the night and worrying about this and other things. And I'm like, whether I'm doing the right thing by the watch or not. I'm all about preservation. I want to preserve history as much as possible, which was my impulse for trying to put things back to the way they might have been. And then it occurred to me a few things. One, it's just a watch case. Two, we're all going to die of coronavirus here any minute anyway. And that it's not that big of a deal. But the third thing, it occurred to me, I'm like, okay, these innards did not originally go with this case, but they have been in that case, I would imagine, probably for decades, maybe 30 years, who knows? They've been in there for a long, long time. So I said, you know what? There are bigger things to worry about. Screw it. So I put this movement, dial and hands, back into the service case. The only thing I did is I used another caseback, and I'm going to preserve the original caseback. So we know the history. We know everything about it. This will never get separated from that case. And there it is, and it's done. And it's nice. I did change the day wheel because, I don't know, I just felt like doing that. I had actually gone back in and I changed the day wheel to kanji. And I also put in a 6306 hacking lever, so it hacks. It's my watch, and I'll wear it, and those are the things I like. I like hacking. And I have those parts. I have that day wheel, and it'll stay with this too. So I have it all together. So that really is the end of the mystery, such as it was, of the Hong Kong Suwa. I firmly believe that this was a sample case, not a sample case, gosh darn it, a service case. This is a replacement case. Seiko still makes them to this day. Like, you can order complete replacement cases. It's a line item. Seiko has always done it. So that's what this is. It's a service case, a replacement piece. I don't know what happened before, but they got put together decades ago, and that's the end of it. You may be wondering about this. So one of the things that sort of made this possible, like I said, I couldn't sleep because I was worrying about this stuff and coronavirus and all this other political crap. And I said, well, though, this poor gentleman's watch, this guy that I bought from this guy so long ago, it'd be nice to bring this back. And so there I was in the O Dark 30, and I'm digging through everything I have, all the stuff I got from, the old watchsmith here in town and all these other things and boxes of things that I packed away and since forgotten about. And I found this dial and handset, and they were matched. I had written matched on the thing in sort of my treasures box, and they are from 1977. So this 1977 watch is back, and it's with a set of dial and hands that are completely original, and they're a little grayed out, but they match the case. So that's actually, I think, the better option. And when I found these, then I felt a lot better about this. So then I redid everything, and here we are. There that is. This dial hands and movement, though, movement needs to be serviced. It's a runner, but I need to service it, and I'll do that at some point. I'm assuming I'll have a lot of indoor time once we wait for the coronavirus to do its thing. But anyway, so that's the end of the story. This is how the story finishes up. It's all back together as it was, except for the day wheel. And there it is. I hope that's a more satisfying ending than what we had before. I'd like to think so. Anyway, I'll wear it now. So that's the end of it.